Hey everyone, Django Fett here, Honey Down Games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more, and this is a review for Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. So, before we get into this movie, I just have to say, I fucking love Mad Max Fury Road so much. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's easily the best of the Mad Max series, by far, trumps over anything, just absolutely smashes at everything. And this is just one of the greatest action movies ever. How they made this movie, even back in that time, and even to this day, I have no idea how they would do it. Even back then, and this was back in 2015 when this came out, this was just an absolutely legendary movie with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. And, I mean, if you've never seen this movie, you're missing out. One of the greatest action movies ever. And most of what it made it great is just the amount of action they put, and it's just the amount of practical effects they put into this. You know, of course, not everything is going to be practical effects, but for what they did here is just absolutely jaw-dropping. And I actually rewatched it again with my wife, who never actually watched it before, and I just had a fantastic time with the movie once more. So Mad Max Fury Road, it holds a special place in my heart, just one of my favorite movies of all time. And when I heard that they were actually doing this movie, when it was announced, I didn't know how I feel about it. I thought it was kind of a stupid idea. I wasn't really a fan of it, but George Miller was going to be behind it, and you know what? I wanted to give it a chance, because as long as George Miller is behind it, then I'm fine with that. He already did Mad Max Fury Road, so I expect some good things from that. So this Furiosa comes out 9 years later after the success of Fury Road, and after seeing the trailer, I was pumped, man. It looked fantastic. So essentially, this is the backstory for Furiosa, with no Mad Max whatsoever, which I was fine with. A backstory into Furiosa to tell her story. And so this is a very different movie from Fury Road. So if you're expecting Fury Road, you're going to be kind of disappointed, but at the same time, you're going to be like loving every minute of this, because they pay so much homage to Fury Road and connect a lot of things from the Furiosa to Fury Road. So you'll see a lot of references and connections from here to there. There are maybe some plot holes from Fury Road to the Furiosa, in a sense. I do have to rewatch. I think there was one part I remember where they were actually talking, and towards the end of the movie, and it kind of hurt. I guess it doesn't. It leaves a hole for a tiny little plot hole for Furiosa, in a sense. So for this movie, this is less action and more story, and you're going to see a lot of not Anya Taylor-Joy. That's actually towards the second half of the film, and the first half of the film is dedicated to a younger version of Furiosa. So younger than who's the actor of Anya Taylor-Joy. She's actually in the second half. She's marketed as going to be the main person in the movie, but I was actually pleasantly surprised by it, and I actually was surprised by the actress who played Furiosa, younger Furiosa, Alia Brown. She's the child and teenager version of Furiosa, and then Anya Taylor-Joy played as a little bit older Furiosa. But Alia Brown was actually really surprising. She did a really great job for this. And there's so many great performances in this. So not only Anya Taylor-Joy, but the scene stealer for me was Chris Hemsworth as Dementus, the warlord leader of the biker horde. And I'm not going to say anything revolving around the story. I'm not going to spoil anything, so you'll find that out on your own. But Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Furiosa, and Dementus have a history. Let's just leave it at that. You also have Morton Joe coming into the mix. Now, it's not played by the same actor who played as a Morton Joe from the Fury Road. It's actually played by a different actor, because he actually passed away. And that was Hugh Keys Brine. And, he was the actual character from Mad Max 1. He was in Mad Max 1 back in 1979. And then he reprised his role in, did a completely different role, but it reprised within the Mad Max series, Immortan Joe in Fury Road, and I thought that was really cool. And it's a shame that he passed away actually back in 2020, so a bit of a ways, and wasn't a part as once again as Immortan Joe. So They did have to cast somebody else for Immortan Joe, but I think for everyone else, like some People Eater and the I think it was Rictus, and you know, a couple of others, they got all the original cast back into here, which was really crazy to see. Usually you don't really see this stuff, but you see the dedication by George Miller to really want to bring everyone back again just for these things. And I know some people are probably going to complain that Charlize Theron and why isn't Mad Max in here, but you know, I was fine with it at the end of the day. I think it just really worked for here in this movie with a younger you know, Furiosa. I think that makes more sense. I think Charlize Theron is really showing her age, so it really wouldn't make any sense to kind of CGI her throughout. I think it just made sense with Anya Taylor-Joy. So I think the performances are great. The story is really interesting, really captivating within this really insane world of the apocalypse, the mad world within the apocalypse with Bullet Farm and the Guntown and the you know, all these different factions. And you know, you have Immortan Joe and Dementis and Furiosa. There's like all these different things happening within here, and I just found it so captivating. I mean, there are some little slow moments here and there, but there is so much like really interesting story and backstory into the world of the Mad Max world. So I was really captivated throughout, and this is just so for those who are fans of Fury Road, you're gonna be at home with this. And for those who are just fans of Mad Max in general, you're going to love all the different like lore bits and stuff like that in here. Now, that's not to say that there's no action whatsoever. There is quite a bit of action. It's just not as much as Fury Road. I mean, that was just nonstop amazingness. But here, there is a lot of great action scenes in here. And you have Furiosa working with someone else who's very Mad Max-esque. So you can see definitely the relationship with how they can develop with, you know, Charlize Theron's in the Fury Road movie, how you see that connection from this movie, Furiosa, to here. So now you see it much more developed, and now it makes more sense on why she kind of trusts him, you know, Mad Max in, you know, Fury Road. And there's plenty of practical effects shown throughout, but there is some CGI here and there. I mean, there is some noticeable CGI. They used a little bit more CGI a lot more CGI than in Fury Road. But honestly, I was fine with it. I think they did a great job with masking it and not really noticing it too much. I think they just, for all the action and the craziness that happens in it, for the just brutal action that happens in here, they did a phenomenal job here. And you really saw why Furiosa is Furiosa at the end of the day. Why she's become fueled with vengeance and hate, and how it built her up from the ground up to what she is now with Fury Road. And in the end of the film, you get it. You see why Furiosa is like that. They just did a great job. And it's pretty dark, this movie, I must say. So do not bring your kids, because there's some dark imagery throughout. I did hear a kid in one of my theaters here when I was watching the movie, and it was just so weird to just don't bring your kids to see movies like this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I will also say that if you're going to see this movie in theaters, see it in the highest quality. Don't see it in just regular, you know, format. See it in, you know, we have Cinemark XD, and there's also, you know, there's IMAX and stuff like that. I saw it in just regular Cinemark theater, but I would recommend just kind of just going with the highest quality and seeing that booming sound, because this movie, you need to see it like that, just like Fury Road if you can, because the sound is amazing. And there were some moments that I must say that the dialogue, I didn't really get what they were saying sometimes, so I felt like I really needed like subtitles or something, because I didn't hear it, or they said something that I just didn't really understand. So I think I'll have to see this movie in Blu-ray and then see the subtitles, because I didn't understand some of the dialogue in here. But there was just a few moments of that in the movie, but not too much at all. So I don't think this is better than Fury Road by any means. This is just a completely different film. You know, it's not the same as Fury Road. And I'm fine with that. I totally respect it, and I just absolutely love this movie. So I am going to give Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, A. Go out and see this movie right now. It's just an absolutely phenomenal movie to see in theaters, especially in Cinemark XD or IMAX. If you can, go watch it from those formats. So I did want to give a short review for Kingdom for the Planet of the Apes, or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I thought it was good, and I was surprised by it for sure. But I think they were just setting up for, the same Dawn of the Planet of the Apes storyline once again. And there were some things I just didn't like about it. I think it was still a good movie. I did enjoy it. It's not as good as the great movies that are the Caesar trilogy. Those movies are fantastic. So I would give it like a 3 out of 5 at the end of the day. I don't think it's that great, but I still enjoyed it. So we'll see what happens with the Mad Max series. Supposedly George Miller wants to do a third movie, but man, this guy is like almost 80, and he's putting out such great products like this and Mad Max Fury Road to this day. Let's see. I hope he can do another movie, but I know these movies take a lot of toll on everyone, the actors, the director, the production team, because it's really intensive and it's not easy to make, and they go through a lot of development hell, and you're gonna be hitting everyone. I think there was some arguing between Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy quite a lot, and I think it was just this brutal conditions that they had to film in, and so take your time. Of course, I don't want to feel like they have to come out with this like right away, but man, they're just putting everyone to shame with the production with these movies, and just keep it up, George Miller. I hope you can do a third movie. I would be so freaking awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, tell me what you think of Furiosa in the comment section below, and subscribe to my channel, Django Fett. And I'll see you, my fellow Mandoite, my brothers and sisters, next time. Ooh, yeah.